Welcome to Mental Models Daily, where we explore one mental model each day to help you elevate your daily decision making. Today we're diving into the concept of hasty generalization. Hasty generalization is a logical fallacy that occurs when a conclusion is drawn about a whole group based on an inadequate sample size or limited evidence. This mental model emphasizes the importance of gathering sufficient and representative data before making broad assertions to avoid faulty reasoning and bias. Let's start with a simple example. Imagine you meet two people from a city who are unfriendly. You then conclude that everyone from that city is unfriendly. This is a hasty generalization because your sample size is too small to accurately represent the entire population of the city. In scientific research, hasty generalization can lead to incorrect conclusions. For instance, if a new drug is tested on a small group of people and found to be effective, concluding that it will be effective for everyone is premature. Larger, more diverse studies are needed to draw a valid conclusion about the drug's efficacy for the general population. Another example can be seen in everyday social interactions. Suppose you have a bad experience with a couple of co-workers and then assume that all your colleagues are difficult to work with. This hasty generalization overlooks the possibility that the majority of your co-workers might be cooperative and pleasant. By giving yourself a chance to interact with more people, you can form a more accurate view. In marketing, hasty generalization can lead to misguided strategies. For example, if a company receives a few negative reviews about a product and decides that the product is a failure, they might overlook the larger number of positive reviews and satisfied customers. A balanced analysis considering all feedback can prevent rash decisions. In everyday decision-making, hasty generalization often influences our judgments. For instance, you might try a new restaurant and have a bad meal, leading you to conclude that the restaurant is terrible. This overlooks the possibility that you just had an off day or chose a dish that isn't representative of the restaurant's overall quality. Giving it another try or considering more reviews can provide a fairer assessment. In hiring practices, hasty generalization can result in unfair biases. For example, if an employer has a negative experience with one employee from a particular background and then becomes wary of hiring others from the same background, they are making an unfair generalization. Evaluating each candidate on their own merits helps avoid discriminatory practices. To effectively apply the understanding of hasty generalization in your life, practice gathering more evidence before forming conclusions. Look for larger, more representative samples and avoid making snap judgments based on limited information. This approach will help you make more accurate and fair decisions. In conclusion, recognizing and avoiding hasty generalization is essential for making well-informed decisions and engaging in constructive discourse. By seeking sufficient and representative data, we can enhance our critical thinking skills and avoid being misled by limited or biased information. Thanks for tuning in to Mental Models Daily. Join us tomorrow as we explore another mental model to enhance your thinking toolbox. Don't forget to subscribe or follow us on your favorite podcast platform and share with friends and family. Until next time, keep learning, stay critical, and gather enough evidence to avoid hasty generalizations. For more mental models, please visit mentalmodelsdaily.com or find us on X or Instagram. Our podcast music was provided by thepodcasthost.com and Alitu, the podcast maker. Find your own free podcast music over at thepodcasthost.com/free.